you ready?
Audio
Hello everybody, once again coming to you from the beautiful new PowerTech Studios. This is the internet's #1 favorite show. You have found the BYB Insider, and I'm your host, the Big Guy. We're running a little bit behind this week, folks. We missed last week due to finally taking a little time off from my busy schedule. But I'm back, and I'm back to let you know what happened over the last 2 weeks in the BYB. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get down to the action in week 2. Here we go. Alright gang, here we go. Week 2. It was the Prestige Worldwide coming to face the Taylor Gang. Who would win? Let's go to the box scores. Big game for the Taylor boys were from Bradshaw and Cruz in a big defensive effort, but Ray Rice found his way to the ambulance. Would it hurt? Well, the Prestige boys, big game from Calvin Johnson and Tim Jennings, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough as the Taylor Gang take them easily, 141 to 137.5. The Taylor Gang with a huge win. We're moving on. It was the Monstars facing the defending champion, the UPS boys. Let's dive inside the box scores. Cam Newton, Trent Richardson, big games, but the middle section a little soft. Would it end up banging them out? Well, folks, when you get big games from Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, it helps, and a big defensive effort plus a big effort from the kicker, well, that'll put you over as the UPS boys slap down the Monstars, 139 to 118. We're moving on. It's Boom Jessica White coming in to face the Black Angels. Let's dive inside the box scores. For Boom, big game from Stafford, Spillard, and McFadden. Martellus Bennett, though, with a big, huge 26. We flip it over to the other side. Peyton Manning and LaShawn McCoy coming up big, but Deshaun Jackson had an awesome game, but unfortunately, Steven Jackson and Patrick Willis both found their way to the ambulance and out of the game early, and it ended up costing the Angels big. 132.5 to 127. Boom Jesco takes them down. We're moving on here. It's the 3 and outs versus Let Me Kick Charlie Brown's boys. Let's go inside the box scores. Tom Brady and Arian Foster showed up big. Stevie Johnson with a big 25. Let's flip it over to the other side. And unfortunately, big games there for Mark. But unfortunately, when MJD pulls a no-show, folks, it ends up hurting you bad as the 3 and out boys fall in a heartbreaker, 95.5 to 92.5. We're moving on. Hail Mary and the McConnell Mud Dogs in the game of the week of week 2. Here we go. Diving inside. Massive game from Torrey Smith and 43 points from Aaron Rodgers, but Frank Gore and Larry Fitzgerald didn't show. Neither did the middle section, and of course you got 0 points on the bottom. That ends up hurting you real bad when you get 33 points and 28 points from Marshawn Lynch and Pierre Garçon, respectively, as the Mary Boys punch out the Mud Dogs, 127.5 to 98. It's the Guild of Calamitous Intent and the Machine. This one was a good one. Let's dive inside the box scores. Andrew Luck and Doug Martin coming up big, but unfortunately Reggie Bush and Demarius Thomas didn't show up. Would it end up hurting the Guild? Well, when Colin Kaepernick only shows up with 1, it'll kill you, but they were bailed out by a huge middle chorus section there as the Machine buried the Guild, 149.5 to 125.5. So as we headed into week 3, the BYB Nation was looking for a clear front runner, and they may have found it in the defending champions, the UPS boys. 2-0, they marched into Mud Fork to face the suddenly resurgent Mark Muncie. Let's see how all the action broke down and all the others from week 3. Here we go. So we dive inside the box scores here. Big game from Matt Ryan, Adrian Peterson, but Dwayne Bowe, where did you go? Flipping it over for Mark, Russell Wilson, Alfred Morris, and MJD show, but both the wide receivers found their way to the ambulance, and it ended up costing them 3 and outs again. 122 to 111. UPS remains undefeated. We're moving on. It's Boom Jessica White taking on Hail Mary as we dive inside the box scores. Leading off, huge game from D'Angelo Williams and Pierre Garçon. But Drew Brees 36 was the big banger. As we flip it over, well, CJ and Geno Atkins pulled a no-show disappearing act, and it ended up costing them large. As Hail Mary takes it 109 to 90.5. We're moving on. It is the Monstars versus the McConnell Mud Dogs. As we dive inside the box scores, let's take a look here. Cam Newton, massive game. Wes Welker showing up big, but the middle section was a little on the soft side. Would it end up hurting them? Well, when you're coming down with good middle-way point totals, but your defense pulls a no-show, it ends up costing you large as the Monstars take them 118 to 92.5. We're moving on. Prestige Worldwide took on his arch nemesis, that being Charlie Brown, as we dive inside the box scores. Sam Bradford and Stevie Johnson showed, but the rest of the team, well, not so much. And it ended up costing Charlie Brown big as Jordan Cameron, the highly touted Cleveland tight end, finally showed up and lived up to his preseason billing as Prestige beats up on Charlie Brown 135-5 to 88. We got the Machine and the Taylor Gang, and this one ended up being almost an instant classic, folks, as we dive inside the box scores here. Romo, Fred Jackson, and of course Jimmy Superstar Graham with 34 points, putting Jared up. But look at here, folks. Colin Kaepernick, what happened? Trent Cole also pulled a disappearing act, and it ended up costing the the Machine large. 132 to 128.5. We're moving on. The rematch of the BYB Championship game for Season 3 is the Guild of Calamitous Intent versus the Angels. We're in the box scores. Peyton Manning and LaShawn McCoy showed up large, but pretty much nobody else from the Angels did, as Michael Evans plowed it down. Even though Jermichael Finley landed his way into the ambulance, it still didn't matter as the Guild pulled it out 111-5 to 90.5 over the Angels. So that's going to do it for this edition of BYB Insider. You're now caught up on all the BYB action as we head into week 4. And as we head in there, the storylines are still developing. Will the UPS boys continue their domination and march through the BYB schedule? Or will another contender emerge from the shadows and challenge them for Dina's glow? We'll find out as the weeks go along. But for this episode, we're done. We're out of here. See ya next week. Hello all the BYB Nation. It's time once again. Crap. That's a crappy opener.